Hello students, so welcome to the discussion on daily newspaper analysis. Today is 11th of May and today we shall be discussing four important articles. So these all four articles are from The Hindu. So first article is related to global uncertainties. So recently the Prime Minister of India has appealed to the citizens of this country to reduce the impaired dependence on imports amid the West Asia crisis. Next article is related to the role of governor after the recent elections in Tamil Nadu. Next topic, we shall be discussing about the Girmitya community. So we shall be discussing about the basic background and some of the prelims related points. Finally, we have the article of IORA, that is Indian Ocean Rim Association. So recently, Indian Ocean Dialogue took place, and in that IORA also participated. So why all these meetings happened? It happened so as to discuss the future solutions amid the global uncertainties. Okay. So this is our first article. So this first article says the Prime Minister of India has urged the citizens of appealed the citizens of country to cut the fuel usage as well as to avoid the foreign travel. So let's discuss this article in complete detail. Okay. So see, as you know, because of the US-Iran war and the rising global crude oil prices, the world is facing an energy crisis, right? And energy crisis as well as the inflation. Now, India imports large amount of important products. What are those products? Like India imports large amount of crude oil. After that, India imports large amount of edible oil. India imports large amount of gold also, as well as India imports fertilizers. So the point is that such global crisis can have the direct impact on Indian economy because many of these products are imported in India. So the Prime Minister of India has asked the citizens to act responsibly and support the country during the difficult economic conditions. So he appealed the people to reduce the unnecessary imports. And how you can reduce unnecessary imports? By buying the local products. How local products will support? See, if you are buying more and more local products, then that income will remain inside your country. Because if you are importing more and more products, so see, if you are importing more and more products, to buy those products, you will be needing the forex reserves. And amid the West Asia crisis, these imports are very expensive. Since these imports are very expensive and to buy you need forex reserves, so for $1 you have to pay lot of Indian rupee. And because of that, more and more forex will be going outside the country. If more and more forex is going outside the country, then what will happen? Indian rupee will depreciate. If Indian rupee will depreciate, the essential imports will become more expensive. So because of that, all these things will put a lot of pressure on Indian economy. So that's why the Prime Minister has asked to use more and more local products. Second thing, he also asked to avoid the foreign vacations. The same concept that if you are going in foreign countries, then you are spending money, and to spend the money there, you will be needing forex. So, and similar thing applies to the gold purchases. So he also asked to reduce the gold purchases so that your money will remain inside India. Next thing is, he also encouraged the use of public transports as well as work from home practices. And what is the main idea here? So that you will use very less amount of fuel, and hence you can save more and more foreign exchange reserves for the emergency situations. Now, he also discussed a few things at the agriculture level. What are those few things? He warned that excessive use of fertilizers will harm the soil. That thing we know. But apart from that, since to make the fertilizers, you will be needing raw material, and that raw material must be imported. For example, one of the raw material is natural gas only to make the urea. And amid the West Asia crisis, it is no very difficult to get all those things. So that's why Prime Minister has appealed to reduce the excessive use of fertilizers. So overall, you can say that the overall message is that economic resilience is not only the responsibility of government. So he is saying the citizens must also play an important role. And how they can play the important role? They can reduce the dependence on imports. They can use more and more local products. The farmers can reduce the excessive amount of fertilizers, and in this way, through this way, the self-reliance of India can be ensured. Now, next article is related to the role of governor. So basically, this article discusses about the governor's role after the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections. See, let's discuss everything in detail. See, as you know, after the Tamil Nadu Assembly elections in 2026, the elections resulted in the victory of political party, that is TVK, and TVK is led by a leader, C. Vijay. Now, this party emerged as the single largest party, and this party secured 108 seats, which was highest in Tamil Nadu. Now, despite being the single largest party, TVK was initially not invited by the governor to form the government. And this is the main point of contention. This is the main thing which the article is discussing. And what governor did? First thing, governor did not invite that leader of TVK to form the government. Second, and governor also demanded these signed support letters. And that support letters must be at least from 118 MLAs. And why 118 MLAs? Because this is the minimum number of seats, minimum number of majority which is required to form the government. Though later this TVK political party got the support from other political parties, but even with 108 seats also, the leader could have invited, governor could have invited the leader to form the government. So even after forming the government, now the government has allowed the swearing in ceremony to form the government, but the government has directed the chief minister to seek the vote of confidence before 13th of May. Before 13th of May. Now, here, because of this, many things starts. Now, the article says that this action of the governor has violated the established constitutional conventions. Why? Because according to the article, the governor's role after the election is very limited. How it is limited? It is limited to just identify the person that who is likely to get the confidence of the house and then invite him to form the government. Nothing more than that. So the governor is not expected to demand the proof of majority before the swearing in ceremony. Means you cannot demand the proof of majority before forming the government. And the article refers the recommendations of important commissions also. Commissions like the Sarkaria Commission or the Punshi Commission. What are the recommendations? These commissions have laid down the order of preference in which government can be formed. So according to these commissions, according to recommendations, single largest pre-poll alliance will get the first preference. So whenever the government has to invite a particular political party or alliance to form the government, so in that, single largest pre-poll alliance will be given the first preference, and after that, single largest political party which is capable to form the stable government can be invited. So here the article discusses the earlier cases also. Earlier cases, for example, after the elections in Goa in 2017 or after the elections of Manipur in 2017. What happened here? Here the political parties with very fewer seats were also invited to form the government. So the article is saying in Tamil Nadu also this thing could have been happened. Now the article gives other examples. Here article discusses a concept which we call as the minority government. Minority government means when no single political party have the majority, but still government is formed. So here the article discusses that there are examples from the past also. For example, the minority government which was formed under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, and that government was formed in 1996. Or for example, minority government under Manmohan Singh. So these all the governments formed under these leaders by the minority governments also only. But these governments were also successful, right? So this thing could have been replicated in Tamil Nadu. Now, the article mentions an important article, which is Article 164. We are discussing this article many times. So, the article says that according to under Article 164, the true test of majority is only in front of the Legislative Assembly and not in front of the governor. So this is the main thing. We discussed this thing also earlier. That true test of majority you must do in the floor test, that is at the floor of the house and not in front of the governor. So the governor is insisting more and more to prove the majority in front of the governor. So this is not a good thing, and it is not as per the earlier established conventions. Next thing which article criticizes is that government has given the 72-hour timeline to prove the vote of confidence. Now, if you are giving this much very short timeline, it will encourage horse trading, or it may encourage political defections, right? Because see, if you are giving very short period of time to prove the majority, then any political party will try any possible methods to get the support of MLAs. So either by hook or crook, anyway, whether the process is fair or not, anyway they will get the support of MLAs. So it will encourage or promote horse trading, and it will promote the political defections also. So these are the main things which are discussed in the article. So basically, the article is saying that instead of ordering the confidence votes immediately, the government should continue unless the opposition moves a motion of no confidence. So this is the major gist of the article. Now, next article is about the Girmitya community. So here the context is that recently the External Affairs Minister of India have highlighted the efforts which are taken by the India to preserve the legacy of Girmitya community. So first of all, let's discuss the basic background. See, what happened during the British period. This is the story from the British period. So during the British colonial rule, many poor Indians were taken to the faraway colonies from India. So many poor Indians were taken to the colonies, for example, Fiji, for example, Mauritius. So these people were taken to these colonies, and these colonies were of Britishers. And what was the main purpose? They were taken to these colonies to work in the plantations. And so there they worked as the indentured labor community. Now, when these communities started working there, so all these workers were asked to sign an agreement, or sign a labor contract that we will be working here. So this term which we are discussing, this term of Girmitya, has been derived from this word agreement only. So all those workers who agreed to sign the agreement, so that community came to be called as Girmitya. So here the main focus is that even though they lived far away from India, but also they preserved their Indian traditions, their culture, religion, etc. And that's why during the recent visit of our Indian foreign minister to Trinidad and Tobago, he said that India wants to preserve the history of these communities and to help their descendants reconnect with their roots. So that's why all these things are discussed. So that's why India and Trinidad have also signed an agreement to preserve the old migration records. And what is the purpose for that? To preserve the migration records so that people of these ancestors can trace them. So these were the small things which were relevant from exam point of view. Now, next article is related to IORA, that is Indian Ocean Rim Association. So basically, recently an Indian Ocean dialogue took place, and IORA took place in that dialogue. So here, and why this Indian Ocean dialogue took place? It took place to discuss the future solutions amid the West Asia crisis. So basically, IORA in this Indian Ocean dialogue is expected to focus heavily on the maritime security challenges, and why these security challenges are arising because of the recent West Asia crisis and the disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz. So here, important leaders have highlighted that Indian Ocean can no longer be viewed as a pure zone of peace. Why? Because the West Asia war has brought the military tensions into the region again. So see, basically we are talking about the Indian Ocean rim. That means all the countries which are part of the Indian Ocean. So all those countries are expressing the concern that no longer we can say that Indian Ocean is a zone of peace, and because of the West Asia crisis, disruptions are happening in this region. Now, important thing here is, if we talk about the IORA charter, important thing here is that bilateral disputes, that means disputes just between two countries, as well as political disputes, will not be part of discussion in IORA. But because of the West Asia crisis, IORA members are discussing the broader socio-economic impact. So they will not discuss why US did that, or why Israel did that, or why Iran is attacking. All these political issues will not be discussed. But impact of these issues on the various countries in the Indian Ocean region will be discussed. Now, the article also says that unlike other regional organizations, for example, SARC or for example, SCO, IORA is relatively less contentious. Why? Because if we talk about these organizations, SCO or SARC, so here India is also part of it, Pakistan is also part of it. So because India is not accepting the entry of Pakistan, or India is not ready to deliberate with Pakistan, that's why all these organizations are not very successful in their objective. So article is saying, but IORA is very good platform because Pakistan is not part of IORA, and that is very good point for India. Now, let's discuss some of the prelims perspective, some of the points. So basically, IORA is an intergovernmental organization and it was established in 1997. So please don't confuse with a similar platform, that is IONS. So please read what is the difference between IONS, that is Indian Ocean Naval Symposium, and IORA. So please read about prelims points of IONS also. So here important thing for you is the year, that it was formed in the year 1997. Second thing is, I think this is not important. So basically earlier it was known as Indian Ocean Rim Initiative and Indian Ocean Rim Association for Regional Cooperation. So this was the earlier name. At present its name is IORA. Secretariat is very important. Its secretariat is located in Mauritius, and it is also an observer to United Nations General Assembly and African Union. This thing also you can remember. Members is very important. Or what are the number of members? So at present it has 23 members, and chair is also important. Who is current chair? So India currently chairs IORA. So since India is chairing, so it is very important for 2026 prelims also. Now quickly let's go through the countries, which all countries are part of this. Okay, so these all countries which belong to Indian Ocean Rim. All these countries are part of Indian IORA. Now, a quick practice question for you. Consider the following statements regarding Girmitya system. First is, it emerged during the colonial plantation economy after slavery was abolished. Second, Girmitya laborers were recruited during the long-term labor contracts. Third is, the system was associated only with the British colonies and Africa. So please try to give answer of this question in the comment section. And yes, I think that's all from my side for today. Thank you and have a nice day.